Hey, what's going on everyone? Zoop here, and it's World of Warship's 5th anniversary. I know it's hard to believe. Time has somewhat flown. I mean, 5 years of World of Warships. It's kind of crazy when I think about it. I know that this is definitely the game that I have played the most, or at least over the longest amount of time. I really can't think of any other games I've played as long as World of Warships. I mean, 5 years. The life cycle of most games these days lasts, what, 2-3 years? I mean, I'm trying to think right now, and I think played DayZ a couple years. It's still around, but I kind of gave up on it because it was stuck in beta for so long. PUBG had a good run, maybe 2 years, but yeah, nothing else really. Yeah, I think by far World of Warships definitely played it the most and the longest. So with that being said, I think today we're just going to reminisce about the past 5 years. I'm going to take a look back at the highs and the lows that I can think of, and just what this game means to me and how important it is to me and to the community, I guess. So yeah, 5 years. Wow, that's just something else. So I started playing World of Warships during closed beta. I know a lot of you out there, a lot of you that follow me did as well. And I actually happened upon my beta code by Operation Supply Drop. I was supporting them on some stuff. I was doing some streams for them, and they had some spare beta codes. Said, do you want one? And I said, hell yeah, World War II ships? That sounds awesome. And once I played it, you know what? I've been hooked ever since. And for me, again, it's just that aspect of World War II ships that I absolutely love, and the fact that you can play some of the coolest, most badass historical ships in history. And from that point on, it was game on. And I had been doing videos before that. They were primarily based on Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. Really, the biggest thing that I had that had generated interest was my Real Battlefield Heroes video, which was set to the real Men of Genius, the old Bud Light commercials, and people seem to like those a lot. So I kind of started YouTube on a whim. I just saw other people doing it and said, hey, I bet I can do that. I'm a creative guy, and so I started doing those videos, and then World of Warships came out. I played it and loved it, and I said, you know what? I think I'm going to try and make this work, and I've been doing it ever since. Of course, where some other community contributors do this full-time, it's still part-time for me. I mean, I've got a career, 2 actually, counting the reserves. So I like my jobs, but this is a very, very good stress release, and I enjoy it. And so over that 5 years, first, obviously, you got to say congratulations, World of Warships, for making it this long and for keeping a fairly steady player base. I mean, there hasn't been a huge drop whatsoever, and I think some regions have grown a little bit. I think North America's grown, but the game is so different than it was 5 years ago. And even my knowledge of the game, looking back at the first videos I did, it's kind of embarrassing. I'm like, was I really going broadside? Back when the Cleveland was one of the best ships in the game, and it was an absolutely overpowered ship. AA was extremely powerful. CVs had the ability to dev strike in one drop on high-tier battleships. Stealth firing was a thing. RPF wasn't around. I mean, that's the early days of World of Warships, when we just had the United States Navy and the IJN. And slowly we had other ship classes come in. Not classes, but we had other ships, countries come in. We had, I think Germany was the next one to show up, and then we had Russia, and slowly we had France and England added, and I mean, the amount of ships we have right now, I don't think I could have thought back then that we would have had this much. Almost to the point that it's hard playing everything you have. And just a reminder right now, for every tier 10 ship you have, if you get a victory in it, you get a super container, part of World of Warship's 5th anniversary. So don't forget about that. Don't let that go either. I've seen some people get some cool stuff right now. I have seen some steel, the all-important steel, so don't forget about that. And even at tier 9 and tier 8, I believe you get some of the special crates, not crates, but the presents. So make sure you take advantage of that, and if you are like me and you have a ton of ships, you might have to do co-op. Yeah, it sucks, but it's the quickest way to get them, and that's probably what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, I mean, the game has seen constant changes. We lost the stealth firing, which is probably not a bad thing. But with that, we had an influx of radar come in. Radar wasn't around at the... Well, was it? No, I don't... My memory is starting to fail me now. Radar has expanded, at least where it was, over the course of several years. We've had other things come into the game that we never had before. IFHE. Of course, IFHE kind of saw this, I guess, kind of bell curve where, it didn't exist, and then it was here, and it was extremely powerful, and now we're on the other side of that bell curve where it's just kind of disappearing. So IFHE is another one of those things. It's come and gone. We've seen the captain skills go from, 15-point captains to 19-point. Now we're going to 21 points. So after 5 years, we're getting another huge captain shuffle, which, again, I think that's a good thing. Obviously, we all know about the CV rework this past year, which... point of contention, but I think overall, it's healthy, and it does show that wargaming is always looking to shake things up and change things and make things better, even if people don't feel at first that it's better. So I've never seen a game put this much development time into something that's 5 years old. But, that's the game itself, and it's been awesome being able to play the game from basically day one up to this point and create videos for it. But it's not just the game itself. 5 years, and some of my favorite things about World of Warships are the things outside of the game. I've done some awesome stuff because of World of Warships. I went to the first sail to TwitchCon in the inaugural year of TwitchCon. That was absolutely awesome. After that, visited the USS Intrepid. I interviewed Dasha, hung out with her and Sub Octavian the next morning, walking around New York. That was definitely a highlight. I mean, just really fabulous people. Dasha is a delight in person, despite not knowing any English at all. And Sub, I know a lot of people give him a hard time, but if you get to know him outside of the game and meet him as many times as I have, I mean, Sub's a really great guy just to hang out with. And, I've been able to do that over the past 5 years. I've flown out to Emeryville while the North America office was still in Emeryville. Hung out with some awesome people there back when Nico was there, and Quima Pueblos and Trevzer. And, that's really the first crew that I knew with World of Warships. And that's another weird aspect of being around for 5 years of World of Warships. I have seen community managers come and go. I've outlasted all of them, along with some of the other CCs. But I can't really say one group is better than the other. They all come with different attributes, and certainly I really enjoyed going out to Emeryville and hanging out with that crew. It was an absolute blast, a lot of fun. But then after that, you had some wonderful things happen as well. You had some CCs become wargaming employees like Kami Samurai and Fem, and of course they came and went off and on to better things. So I flew out to Austin. I've hung out with that group there when Radar X was in charge, when he was at the helm, and a lot of fun seeing the office transition there. And then they created the Anchors Away tour and more battleships and everything, going up to the New Jersey, flying out to the USS Massachusetts, hanging out at USS Iowa, for an event out there at the esports arena. I mean, I got invites to Russia to visit the headquarters out in St. Petersburg, which obviously I had to decline because of my military involvement, which, you know, unfortunate, but it is what it is with relations right now. So, I mean, I've done some awesome stuff because of World of Warships and wargaming. Things that I never thought I would be able to do. So I really do owe wargaming a lot and World of Warships a lot. I've met some awesome employees. I've got to hang out with them, get to know them at a personal level, become friends with them, and more importantly, I've been able to meet you all as well. I've met several of you, several of my followers at these events, at the Massachusetts and the New Jersey and the Intrepid and the Iowa, and every single time it just amazes me when someone pulls me aside and says, "Oh my gosh, you're Zoup," and I just can't get over the fact that someone cares enough to be excited to meet me. It's just a weird feeling, and it's something that I will never forget that, and I will never let that go to granted, just because it's so unique in this day and age, and especially for myself, being in my position, just, it's like, do I really deserve this? And, that's part of the reason I never want to let you guys down in any way, shape, or form, and that's another reason why I don't like making fun of players, of any play style, and that's why I really try to be kind of that nice guy while I'm playing this game. Because I've met so many of you all, and I've been fortunate. I've had very few trolls out there I've encountered in game, and you know what? When I do, I usually just say something funny, or I don't go ballistic, and I don't think I've ever rage quit this game. I hardly lose my temper just because it's a game that I enjoy still after 5 long years, half a decade, and I know that's half a decade less than World of Tanks has been around, but there's no signs of slowing down for World of Warships right now, none whatsoever. So I gotta raise my champagne glass to you, Wargaming and World of Warships. I mean, you've done something rare, and that's create a game that has kept me entertained for 5 years. And I know there's been ups and there's been downs, and my enjoyment has waned and it's ebbed and flowed over time. I mean, I've never outright not enjoyed the game, but everybody goes through phases where they need to do something else. But despite that, you've kept me for 5 years. I still love the game, still enjoy playing it, still love interacting with the players, still love interacting with the employees. I mean, that's a magical thing. So, congratulations, World of Warships, on 5 years. And here's to 5 more years. Hope you all are doing wonderful. You all have a great evening, morning, midday, whatever time it is. And I will catch you all later. Thanks for watching. Zoup out.